I'm Janelle and this is toDIYfor. So this week I've got some very simple macrame projects. If you're a beginner, these are probably some of the easiest things you can do. I'm gonna teach you how to make a feather, which I have seen all over Pinterest. They're really cool, so simple to make. And then I'm just gonna teach you a couple of other knots that you can use in various projects. So let's get into it.
So grab some macrame cord, scissors, and a measuring tape. So first, to make the feather, cut some macrame cord that folded in half will be approximately the length of your feather. Then again, fold some macrame cord in half and measure from the inside out to see how long you need your longest strands to be. This will be approximately how wide your feather will be. And then cut out medium and smaller strands as well. Approximately mine were 2 centimeters smaller than the size next largest to them. And you're going to need anywhere between 20 to 14 of each of those strands in order to make one similar to the size that I'm making. So to add these, you're going to start with the largest ones and loop them in half. Put the loop underneath the center and then put the opposite loop over top of that center piece. And we're going to tuck the other opposite ends in here, and it ties a knot around that center like so. And you're going to need to alternate these. So next time, put the opposite side loop below the center strand, pull those tails through, and the opposite loop goes over top and you pull those strands through. So we just keep knotting this down the entire center piece until we get to our smallest strands, and you want it to be alternating. And then we need to comb this through. So I have this like little tiny mustache comb that I'm using, which took forever. I would highly suggest getting a dog brush, which would be really quick, and just work in sections and fray it all out. Then you need to lay it down flat and make it stiff so that you can hang it on the wall. So fabric stiffener is what you should be using. I did not have that, so I tried using this spray paint, which is a frosted spray paint. So essentially it's clear. It actually worked really good. You want to spray this on both sides, and maybe hairspray could work for you as well. And then you simply just cut out your feather shape and you can hang it or you can lay it flat. And for our garland, you need some macrame cord, as long as you want your garland to be, a bunch of pieces that have been cut to approximately 14 inches, and then I'm also adding beads, which are totally optional. So string on the beads all at once onto your strand, and in between 2 beads, we are going to add those pieces that have been cut to 14 inches. Fold them in half, loop them around, pulling the tail ends through and tying a little bit of a knot here on the top. I did 8 pieces, so now I have 16 strands, and grouping them in 4 is how we do the box knot. So make a backwards 4 with the outer strand. The opposite outer strand goes over top of that tail that crossed over, and then underneath the 2 middle pieces and up through that hole on the other side. I'll show you again, and it has to be the opposite direction now. So this makes the number 4, and then you are going to cross that underneath and up through that opposite loop, and we do 2 knots each time. So they have to be backwards 4 and then a 4, a backwards 4 and then a 4. So 2 knots, 2 knots, 2 knots across the top. That gives you 4 knots. The next row, you're going to leave the outer 2 most pieces, so then you only have 3 knots across. The next row, 2 knots across. The center row, 1 knot. It creates this triangle shape. And once you have that triangle shape, you can go ahead and just fray your edges. You can completely fray them, you can partially fray them. I like the whole ultimately frayed look, and that's really all there was to this. You can make this as long as you want. I like it tied around a basket, or you could hang it up on a mantle. It could look really cute on a wall too.
Which one was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. Honestly, both of them so simple. I am a macrame beginner myself, and I went through those with ease. But let me know which one was your favorite, and if you attempt either one or use some of those knots to create a different project, I would love to see what you're making at home. Share that with me. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Janelle Steeper. Tag me in anything that you're making, and if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see me come up with in the future, of course, always leave that down below or connect with me on social media. media, and don't forget to subscribe. I have a new video, new DIY for you every single Wednesday, and I don't want you to miss a video. So cheers, and I'll talk to you next week.